Hey, 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 ho, 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 it's holiday beer time, here we go! Hey, 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 everybody, welcome back to the channel once again. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, all the things you guys have been doing. I'm loving it. I hope you're loving it still. We've got a few more days left in our last final stretch to get to the 24th, to get to Christmas Eve, so that we can finally reach the end of our 24-day journey through the Costco German imported beer advent calendar. All right, so I've got my Christmas onesie on, complete with lights and llama to help us get through this last beer on day 19. We're not at 20 yet. Day 19 of the 24-day journey through that there advent calendar. So, without any further ado, let's get ready for another fantastic episode of Holiday Beer Time Review. All right, so yesterday we got ourselves a little piece of that Earl action with that Earl's Hell beer that did some damage to the stack. I mean, it was a strong showing for our Hell beers. I mean, I think the only other one that beat it out was the Marie with a bosom full of beer, obviously. But other than that, I don't think there was any more Hell beers sitting up there above it. So that might be a good thing, considering we're getting down to the home stretch here. I'm hoping maybe perhaps we've run through the Hellas beers in this case, but you never know. We still got a few more days left. So you never know what's going to happen to that stack. But without any further delay, let's find out what kind of beer we've got on tap today, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
And today we've got the Rauchbier from the Zunitzer Brewery, located conveniently in Zwirnitz, which happens to be located outside of our usual area there down in Bavaria and up in the Free State of Saxony, if you will. It's a beautiful little town as you take a look at it. Diving into the history, it sounds like this town's got a little bit of a coal mining background. But that ultimately brings us to another brewery in. How exciting is this? Look at this beautiful place. I mean, the woodwork is just exquisite, homey, cozy. I mean, it just seems like an amazing place to have some beer. I mean, it's got everything you might want. A beautiful beer garden out back, and of course, if you're so interested, you can get online right now and book yourself a room for about $110. All right, you're going to have to excuse me just a little bit because I might be fanboying here pretty quick, because our Rauchbier translates to smoky beer. So that's new for the advent calendar so far. This is something I don't think we've gotten anywhere close to as far as what is probably going to come mostly in aroma. I don't know. I've had a few smoke beers over my time, and I am kind of a fan as long as they're not too smoky, especially on the palate. Once you start getting too much smoke from that, like that burnt malt that's happening inside there, it gets pretty acrid, and some of them can be downright gross. But I have a feeling that these Germans are gonna do it up proper. After reading through some of the history of the beer inn, the brewery inn, it sounds like they're really keen on tradition. You have the whole German purity brewing. I forget what it's called. It's like the German Pure Law or the German Purity Act or something like that. Oh, puppy. Why do you need to go outside right now? German Purity Law, that's what it was. It was the German Purity Law, which happens to be the world's oldest food safety law still in existence. And back in 2016, it celebrated its 500th anniversary. And basically what it is for German beer brewers, they are only allowed to use 4 ingredients when making beer: malt, hops, yeast, and water. That's about as pure beer as you can get. So by adding the smokiness to it, we're able to enter into realms of flavor that you may not be able to do without adding like a 5th ingredient. And so what they generally do is they take the malted barley, right? They take the barley malt, and I don't know if they roast it beforehand or if they do it while it's green and then roast it afterwards, but they smoke it just like you smoke anything else. You just stick it in there, add some smoke to it. I'm sure there's a lot of varying flavor differences when it comes to what wood you're using for smoking, just like in barbecue and stuff like that. So that being said, boy howdy, am I excited for this. Rauchbier, glass. Let's do this. I am just so excited about this right off the bat. Let's see what it sounds like. Sha-sha! Just like a beer should. Nice and tasty. We're going to avoid getting into any of that smoke right now. We're going to avoid it. And we're going to follow our other dude from YouTube's thingy and just... See that? That didn't seem like it worked too well this time, dude. I've been led astray by a British man drinking German beers on the internet. What's going on here? But we're just going to go... Oh my gosh, look how dark this is. Now that doesn't surprise me, being a smoky beer, because, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do something with those malts at a pretty high temperature, and I would imagine they're going to be darker, whether you're smoking them or not. But here we go. Okay, I don't know if we're going to lose this head. We might have screwed up by just trusting the internet blindly. So we're just... Okay, this is good enough. Let's just do this. We got like a 5-finger foam head here, but whatever. Let's do it. Ooh. Just like a... It's just... Mwah, just kissed with smoke right on the smell there. Oh, we're going to be in trouble. We're going to be in trouble. It's almost... And it's... Yeah, I've had a lot of smoky beers, right? Not that many. Maybe less than a dozen, we'll say. And none of them smelled like this. This smells sweet. Kind of like cherryish almost. Oh my gosh, this, I mean, if you were to have this flavor that I'm smelling right now, if you had the aroma transformed into a flavor and then put it into a barbecue sauce, I would want that barbecue sauce. Just sweet, tangy, kind of like the tanginess of like a mesquite smoke, but sweeter. I don't know how better to explain it. Oh, we better take a drink of this. Oh. All right, I'm done. I'm done for the night. This is just... I'm out. This is too good. I'm just going to enjoy this in solitude. That's not really happening, is it? I want more. It's seriously smoky. Like, seriously smoky. But not a bad way. Like, it doesn't taste like a campfire. Like some I made personally a smoked beer one time. It was like the second time doing a homebrew. And I thought I was going to be cool and make a smoked beer, and I got way too much smoked malt to put in there, and it literally tasted like it was like 60% campfire, 40% ashtray. That's not what this tastes like. This tastes like if you're smoking meat in like one of those barrel barbecues and you lift the top, that intense wave of smoke that can hit you if you're not careful about it. That's what it tastes like. It is a very, very intense smokiness. You wouldn't want to chug that. We'll say that much. This is a beer best enjoyed at a nice, smooth pace. It's definitely got a nice sweetness to it, which helps mellow out that kind of intensity from the smoke. I don't know. The more I drink it, the more smoky flavor is kind of being retained. And it's starting to add up. Oh, I'm going to have to get a second opinion on this one. We're going to have to go talk to the wifey. She's not going to like this at all. We'll see what happens. Well, there's a surprise. She was she was a gentle fan. She said she would love to drink this with barbecue. And I think that's just because it's like all the good things about smoke without the negative. You know, the smoke can add up on the palate a little bit, but the type of smoke that it was used, I mean, it makes it enjoyable. I mean, apparently reading through the town info and reading about the brewery inn and all that, appears to be like a lot of coal mining had at least once taken place at the town. And so, you kind of get that rustic worker's taste when it comes through this beer. The smoke is just... I'm still trying to figure out whether I like it or not, to be honest. I was kind of blown away at first, but the more I drink it, the more it kind of adds up, and it kind of feels like I just smoked a cigar, to be honest. Like that kind of residual smoke is just hanging out in the palate. But then you take another sip, and it's like sweet, slightly bitter, delicious, comforting. I mean, it's like a warm embrace from like your uncle that lives up in the woods and you haven't seen him in a year. And now it's Christmas time. There's snow all around. And you go to the log cabin and he comes out and you could tell he lives alone. And he likes to burn a lot of stuff. So he's smoky. Anyways, that's a bad analogy. It's a good beer. I like it. Good smoked beer. I would say just be cautious if you're not a smoked beer guy. I would be very curious. It was kind of disappointing when I was checking out that brewery inn on the website. I'm getting pretty good at navigating German websites these days. I only use Google Translate about 50% of the time to navigate myself around. But I'd be curious what other kind of beers they have. They weren't real. The beers didn't seem like the selling point for the inn, which was kind of sad. To me, I wanted to know what other kind of things they got going on. It does seem to me that they specialize in kind of like micro craft brews, and it's not for like massive distribution. It's more or less for the inn and probably regional distribution at best. Man, I mean, if I was gonna buy a 6-pack of this, I would buy it in fall. I'd buy it in fall, and I would drink it sitting around a campfire with some buddies. That would be a good time, I think. That would be a good way to do this. Or, like Wifey said, over some barbecue. But now the real difficult question is going to come. Just where in the wide world of beer is this thing going to end up on the stack? I don't know. This is generally the point of the show where I cut to a shot of the stack and I show its placement alongside the rest of the beers from the Advent calendar, and we compare, we show who won, who lost, all the good stuff, and we get a nice final placement. But I can't in good conscience do that with this particular beer. It is so different. It is so another world apart from the other ones. Neither better nor worse. I would definitely say that it's, for my particular palate, it's way better than 95% of the Helles beers that we've gone through right now. But it's just the overwhelming taste of that smoke. It puts it in like a whole nother class. And so I don't feel like it's really that fair to throw it in there and have it compete with the rest of the beers that still taste mostly like beer. I mean, this tastes like beer, but I can't do it. I can't do it. So we're going to have to give this one a special, like, honorable mention, if you will. I really don't know where to place it. It's just kind of a deal all on its own. It's a really good. I will say it's probably the best smoky beer I've had in my life so far. And yeah, there's only this much left. I'm sad about this fact. So yeah, we're gonna have to screw up the game today, and the Rauchbier is gonna hang up right there for now, and we're gonna find a nice little honorable mention spot for it somewhere over near the stack. But it's just too different. It's hard to compare and contrast. So shout out to all those people out there throwing together this Advent calendar. This was a great screwball to throw into the works here, and greatly enjoyed myself. So before we kick out of here, another huge thank you and shout out to everybody that's watched, liked, subscribed, commented, all the different things. I love it. I hope you're still loving it, like I said earlier. And yeah, let's do this again tomorrow. And in the meantime, make sure you're checking out the rest of the Salt of the Streets content right here on the channel. And until then, cheers. I'll catch you tomorrow.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought, hope